I'm what they call a lifestyle performer, and what that is somebody who writes and sings about the life that they live. And I think that for me it's really worked out in my favor, because I can take my thoughts and feelings and put them on paper and eventually on a CD and of course on the stage, and I can express that to the crowd, in a lot of cases filled with truckers. And I think that a lot of people can identify with my music because I live the life that I write and sing about.
Gotta make Baton Rouge. $200 at the Tennessee scale. Let me broke, said I broke the rules. Now I ain't seen home in the last 3 weeks, and I feel like I'm going insane. Here the blacktop made me this way. Yeah, 39 tons of steel on steel makes you feel just like a rock. You roll down the road with the hot box on, hammer down but don't get caught. Yeah, 6 hours late and $1 shy. My attitude's bad today. Yeah, the blacktop made me this way. And the blacktop has got a hold on me, rolling through the chapters of my life. And the white line, leading wild and free. Well, I ain't gonna let nobody tell me how I've gotta be. Strong, keep your feet firm on the ground, grabbing them gears and bottom to top as I go round and round. Now I know I ain't no regular guy, and that's good, I gotta say. Yeah, the blacktop made me this way. And the blacktop has got a hold on me, rolling through the chapters of my life. And the white line, leading wild and free. Oh, I ain't gonna let nobody tell me how I've gotta be. Alright. Yeah, the blacktop made me this way. Yeah, the blacktop made me this way. Yeah, the blacktop made me this way.
That's our friend GM Blacktop. That is the Blacktop made me this way. GM is going to be my guest host this evening. Got to clear up a couple of things. That single actually comes out on March the 14th. That's a week from this Friday. That comes out as a single. The Blacktop made me this way. You're going to have to check it out. Wherever music is sold in TUNZ.com. You can find all of our artists' music up on our website. We're in the process of revamping the website once again because we've grown exponentially over the last couple of years. So there's a whole lot of work to do on the website, and we've added some stuff for the artists that are on there as well, so they can go there and browse and maybe figure out if they want to do some merch sales. So we've been talking about that for some time as well. We got another single that actually comes out this month. The 14th, it's coming out as well. Um, it is a song by Brother Leeds. They're out of London, Ontario, Canada. It's a tune called Dear Wendy. Yeah, that's a John Deere letter, I think, something like that. Dear John. And yeah, so check those out. They'll be live a week from this Friday, the 14th of March. And of course, we've already got some great music that came out back at the end of February. We got the St. Patrick's Day song, which is an original ditty for St. Patty's Day. You want to check that out. That's by Boiler Beach. Check that out. That is something kind of cool for you to check out as well. We've got some other great music that's come out the last little while as well. Crop Tour was a single by Brother Leeds. Will You Be Mine, Damsel? That came out back in February 14th for Valentine's Day. We've got a whole bunch of great tunes that are going to be released in the next little while by GM Blacktop as well. So check that out. One Kiss at a Time, another cool tune by our friend George Wolf from the East Coast. There's a whole bunch of great music up on our website. Check it out and check it out wherever music is sold. You can follow the artists on, you can follow the artists everywhere. And you can follow them mostly on Spotify. We're looking for that. If you could follow them on Spotify, that would be great. All right. Well, without further ado, GM Blacktop is joining me from the road. I'm not sure where he is. We're going to find out. He was having some issues with his gear, getting things set up, and he's sitting remotely tonight. We'll see if we can get him here in front of the camera. Here we go. Hey, GM,
Hey,
you're
how are you?
good. Your camera's pointed outwards. What you're looking at. You must be sitting in the rain.
Uh, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can I adjust that somehow?
Yeah, you probably have to go into the gears and change that. I'll let you take a look at that. So he's just going to switch his camera around the other way. It's probably on the rear-facing camera instead of the front-facing camera. That's always a challenge when you're trying to figure this stuff out and you're on the road. You know, you've got to switch up gears pretty fast, and he will. He'll get this figured out, and in no time, there he is, right there. Now he's
It,
working.
it
Get
doesn't.
going,
It
buddy.
doesn't. I've been told too that when you're trying to figure out all this techie shit, it doesn't help when you have the IQ of a wooden spoon. You know.
IQ with the spoon. You're a smart dude, man. You've reinvented yourself a few times in your lifetime.
Well, yeah, maybe. I guess I don't know. Don't know what happened. It's just one of those things. I guess the main thing is that I stay true to the music and stay true to the highway. I
Well, the
got to tell
black.
you a story about what happened to me last night too. Hmm?
Okay, well you can do that. The blacktop made me this way. That's so true about you. And you said in that video you're a lifestyle writer,
Yes, that's correct,
and
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 that's
like
kind of rare.
well, and you've lived most of your life on the road, haven't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Most of my adult life, I've lived on the road. Like a gypsy, I guess you can call it. That's why, as I mentioned in that video, that the lifestyle writer is a big thing because very few people write and sing, as I said there, write and sing about the life that they lead. It's kind of you know disconnected from that kind of like music and that. It's just there's a the touring and this and that, but to be able to have to work in that environment and continue to write and sing is a little different.
Yeah, and something that's really helped you. I mean, you've got a lovely person who's come along who is your PR, your public relations
Yes,
person. She says, "Good evening, everyone." Corinne. I,
she's a blessing.
I mean, what an awesome find for you to find somebody that believes in your music like I do and says, "Hey, I want to help you out, buddy."
Yeah, it was a true blessing to have Corinne come on board, and I think she was in a point in her life where she just happened to like my music, and maybe the whole lifestyle thing sort of he resonated with her too, or something. But she felt that she wanted to dedicate a lot of time and effort into trying to see if she can get this old Cowboys music off the rails and onto the road, right?
Well, she's an avid motorcyclist like
Oh
me,
yeah,
so she likes the road lifestyle as well. You know,
yeah.
so when you
She
think
still
when you do you ride
she still
motorcycle too,
rides.
don't you?
I lived in the Philippines for several years, and I rode motorcycle there. But it wasn't a Harley or anything; it was just an enduro. And more than one occasion, I nearly, met God doing that.
So
Well,
them photos, those photos of you sitting behind the Harley, those are just photo ops.
which Harley? Which one
I
are you
think
talking about?
there's well, there's a couple that there's where one you're sitting on a Harley, and it's on one of your video. It's on one of your canvases on your music.
Okay, yeah, I think it was on the first CD. I mean, I don't own a Harley, but I've been around bikes, and like I said, the bike that I rode in the Philippines was more of an enduro, but uh, I wish I had a Harley. Actually, I'd probably kill myself. So, but I
Oh
rode
man,
horses for many years, so that allows me something there. I trained horses for many years.
I gotta find out. There's one. There's what. There it is, right there. Desperado Lover. There's a photo of you that flashes up in the. So Corinne put together. Even seen the canvases she put together for you on Spotify?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, except
Yeah,
I don't think I'm sitting on a Harley in any of those. Am I?
yeah. And on Desperado Lover, it's there's a slide there. It looks like might be that one might be Corinne's bike, but then there's one of you sitting on an Indian.
Well, then that's I'm pretty sure she just stuck my face on some big brawly biker's face
I
body.
don't know, but you're sitting on an Indian motorcycle there. Somebody's sitting on an Indian motorcycle, and it's on your canvas. So it's really
She's
it's
probably she's probably laughing her ass off right now because she knows it isn't me.
photoshopped. The cool thing about it though is that she's out there and she's putting some great
Oh
stuff
yeah,
together, to try and grab people's attention.
oh yeah,
Right? She's a
yeah,
quick learner. I mean, here's the
oh
cool
yeah,
thing. Here's the cool thing about her is that she's an entrepreneur as
oh
well.
yeah, big time. Yeah,
She has
big
her
time.
own business. She's got a couple of businesses,
Yep.
right? And she's, really business savvy. So I mean, what a great find. Corinne Krennick. And she is awesome, man.
I
She's
call her
so
crew neck.
crew neck. She's so easy to deal with, and she's so nice.
Well, she's most of the time she's easy to deal with, but she does have this little side of herself that's. Have you ever seen the movie Star Wars? And there was that can named R2D2 that just walked around. Yeah, sometimes she's a bit like that, but it's all to the good because she really is an amazing talent there.
She's so funny because sometimes she gets going and it's like, slow down.
Yeah,
Slow down.
that's right.
I don't move that fast, right?
Yeah,
But also sometimes she doesn't know with what urgency I'm looking for something from her,
no, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
and so that's always that challenge. Communicating. Sometimes you and I've had our wires crossed before.
No, we have now and then, but we're too old. We're two old dudes, right? So
We're
that
just a
happens.
couple of ornery old fuckers.
What's that movie? Grumpy Old Men, right?
Grumpier old men. Yeah, maybe could be it. No, I think what it is you and I are both so passionate about what we're
Yeah.
doing with your music, right?
Yes.
Um, and that and I know sometimes there are some opportunities that come up that I might not always be aware of, same as you from my end. You might not be
Right.
aware of certain things. And, sometimes that's where we have to just let the other guy go with what
Yeah.
he's doing
Right.
because it's all working together for the good of the
Yeah.
whole thing. That the important thing I think is just keep communicating that.
I agree. And technology changes too. So,
Ah,
there's different things and back in the old days, it was so easy it was very simple. Everything was, royalties and this and that were all simple. But nowadays, everything is so digitized that it's very difficult sometimes for a person who's not, affluent in those areas to
yeah,
just understand that they got to hold themselves back. You can't send it here, you can't send it there, or whatever the case may be. Or in some cases, because I'm a lifestyler, it's all about I don't know, it's all about the exposure for me too. So there's a very fine line between balancing the exposure and the data and making sure that it all gets done correctly. It's
yeah.
tough.
And go back 15 years,
Yeah,
right? 15, 20 years.
yeah,
Maybe even a little bit further than that, before the internet really came into being. You know, you fucked up. It took people weeks to find out about it.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Nowadays,
Now,
it's bang, it's right away.
yeah, now it's like it's all over the internet as soon as it happens. And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing we forget about as humans, that we're so bombarded with information so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't give us a chance to sit down and digest what's happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. And not to mention that in the old days, there was, X number of radio stations you had to deal with, or this and that. Now you got all sorts of internet stations. And a lot of times it's not just about, for a person like me, it's not just about getting the music heard. Sometimes it's about getting an interview with them, or getting, a write up with them, or getting some sort of a promotion with them that has nothing to really to do with them wanting to play your music necessarily. It's a very difficult thing, because you have to be careful what you send them if it's not been released or whatever the case may be, even though they're not looking to play it. So it sort of creates confusion sometimes.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, like for me, I really like it when my artists shop music around to radio.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I really don't like doing it because the radio station's not interested in me as a record label. They're interested in you as the artist because they're likely going to interview you, or they might feature your music on a show, or there may be some other opportunity that's there for you, like you said. And if you don't have that interaction and you don't develop that relationship with the radio programmer or
Yeah,
DJ or whatever,
yeah,
then you could miss out on certain opportunities. Like, for example, they might be connected to a promoter in your area or outside your area and could help you get a show there.
yeah. Exactly. There could be that going on. There could be, festivals. The networking is so important, right? Um, if you don't throw yourself out there to be networked, as they say, then you're just kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face. So you have to. There's a very fine line between, like I said, the exposure and the rules of the metadata and this and that. But that kind of uh, digital type information and
Right.
the exposure. So that's sometimes where, if you and I have ever clashed, that's sometimes where we're just not catching each other's wavelength on what we're both trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish the same thing,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it just sometimes takes a little bit of, like you said, communication to sort of make sure we're on the same page with it.
Well,
That's all.
and sometimes for you and I, it's really tough to communicate sometimes, because a lot of
Yeah.
times you may be in places where you can't talk or
Right.
don't have the time to talk, right?
Right. Right. Like last
So,
night after midnight, I was jackknifing at my truck,
oh, you jackknifed your truck.
and no damage. I got out of it by some. I was holding my crucifix on my neck. Believe me. I come off the highway onto this side road, and there's a hill. So I get going up the hill, and next thing you know, I'm jackknifed. I'm fucking sideways,
What were you pulling?
and I was just pulling a big travel trailer, but I was in a rural community up there in Aurelia.
Okay.
And anyway, so to make a long story short, no damage, no injuries, but yeah, it definitely made me test my skills.
Wow, that is a scary moment when
Oh
you
yeah.
when you're losing control, and you're using
Hmm.
right now you're using a Dodge heavy duty dually to pull with right now, right?
Yeah, I have my big truck and I have this one, and this one here is also a six. It's a 6-speed transmission, so it's one of the rare. There's very few Dodge dualies out there that have 6-speed
So
transmissions,
it's
and
got some
I
guts.
it's got some power. Yeah, it's
Huh.
got some power. Yeah,
So yeah, so you can pull those big mobile homes, and you're right now
yeah.
are you doing that as a custom job thing right now?
I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. Big reason is they pay me in U.S. dollars,
Oh,
uh,
nice, nice.
and the other reason I parked my other truck for the time being, just because I just didn't feel right about the particular situation I had there. So it was time for me to do something a little different. And I'd played around with this before, and when the whole U.S. dollar thing came into the picture, and plus it gives me flexibility. For example, when I deliver a trailer, I no longer have a vehicle on just a trailer on the back. So it means I can go to a club, or I can go to a songwriter symposium, or I can go to an open mic night, or whatever the case may be. Where normally in the big truck you wouldn't have those kind of options. You'd have to find a truck stop.
Right. So
But
this
with
is giving you an option. This is giving you an option of being able to do this and
correct,
sort of promote your music while you're on the road.
correct. Correct.
Yeah.
It's actually a good vehicle for me. So I've actually been trying to. I don't know if you've noticed in any of the reels that Corinne has done. We try to sometimes throw the whole Dodge thing in there too, because I think that there's a whole. We talk about being a lifestyler. There's trucks, there's motorcycles, but
Sponsorship.
there's a big RV world out there too. People that not only go vacationing, but people that are hauling them for commercial. Like
Right.
there's a big dually and RV presence in
Maybe
North
we should be
America as
going
well.
after. Maybe we should be going after Dodge Chrysler to get you a new rig.
That'd be nice. I'd like that.
And you go around promoting their product, and
I agree. Could,
get the GM Blacktop stuff put on the side of the truck.
could I agree? Could you message Corinne and tell her to get on that?
Yeah, she's watching the show tonight, so she's probably laughing, thinking, "God, those guys are dreaming." Well, I dream big, I think.
Well, there was a time back in the other day, in the older days, when I had things going on too. You gotta remember, I had sponsors back then. I did stuff with Peterbilt back then. I did stuff with big company out of Knoxville, Tennessee, called Idle Air. I was their spokesperson. So we had sponsors, and that's one of the differences between a guy like me and a guy that's just a country guy or a rock guy.
Right.
Is I'm attached to an industry, so that would mean that play your cards right and you can get some sponsors that are attached to an industry that you happen to write and sing about. There's opportunities there too, but it's just finding them.
Jingles.
I do
Commer-
jingles. I
commercial
did a great
jingles.
jingle for Yokohama tires, and nobody ever called me on it. I thought it was the most brilliant jingle, but no, they just never looked at it.
They didn't call you or look at it.
I don't even think they looked at it.
Oh man, you
But
know what?
it was a brilliant jingle.
I know a few guys that have done that on the side. Like they've written jingles on the side while they're doing, their other project work.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
absolutely. It
and
pays the bills
sometimes the
sometimes.
jingle money is giving them the dough they need to do the recording.
Well, the thing with Yokohama tires, because Yokohama tires is truck tires, it's car tires, it's RV tires, it's everything, right? So I had this concept in my brain that you're going to have a 30-second video, and you're going to start off by showing an older couple in a minivan or SUV or something driving through the mountains, and then you switch over to a big truck going through another set of mountains, and then you're going to go to a car with a family of 5 or 4, and I'll tell you the words to this thing. It was, and now you're in control over the hills or under a load for a paycheck or just because you want to make it Yokohama. And that was done to a song. And I thought it was brilliant.
It was brilliant, man.
It covered all the angles.
So Corinna's going to get on the phone and contact Dodge in the morning.
And Yokohama, might as well.
Yeah,
Again, yeah.
Contact some tire companies as well. I mean, what tires are you running on that Dodge Ram?
I've got white letter generals on this.
You're running Generals on it.
White letter generals, ATs. Yeah.
Nice, nice. My factory tires finally wore out on my Dodge Ram 4x4.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And a buddy of mine that owns a tire shop in town said to me, "I got a brand new set of takeoffs. Same tire you got on your truck.
Yeah.
I'll put them on your truck and balance them for you and give you a great deal on them." And that's what I ended up doing. They had 1,000 kilometers on them.
Oh man.
So what
I got.
luck is that, right?
Oh, I'm telling you. I got to show you something. If you can see this, let's see if you can see this. Can you see my dash?
I do.
Read it. Read the kilometers.
I can't read the kilometers. Can't see it.
Let me get you closer here.
Your camera's in the black, man. Can't see
Can
it.
you see it?
I know. Just read it to me.
937,939.
937,000 kilometers?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. Is that a Cummins diesel in that?
It is. It's a 2017. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Those things go forever.
And it's a 6-speed. They don't even make them anymore.
So you got close to 1,000,000 miles on that rig.
Yes. No, kilometers. 1,000,000 kilometers.
1,000,000 kilometers. Whoa. That's about 600,000 kilometers.
It is. It's 600,000 miles. Yeah.
Or 600,000.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a lot. And when I got the truck, it had 158,000 kilometers on it. Now it's got 937. Sorry.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a few kilometers.
Great truck, man.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's I've got a bed in the back, and I took out the back seat and put a big memory foam back there. Some nudie pictures in the ceiling. Stuff like that.
So you can sleep on the road quite comfortably in that rig.
No, let's not say quite comfortably. I can sleep on the road.
if you have to.
Well, the thing in my big truck is quite comfortable, but this one here, like literally, I'm a 6-footer, so I have to like angle my body from left to right, front to back, and hold my mouth a certain way, or I'll never get to sleep.
Where are you tonight?
I am in Indiana, heading into Chicago. Then I'm going to head on into Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then go play around in the snow in Thunder Bay.
Oh my God, you're going. How many kilometers are you going to be driving?
Thunder Bay is about
from where you are.
8 from where I'm at. Probably about I don't know kilometers. Probably I don't know 1,400 or something. 1,300.
Yeah, that's a hike. That's almost 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, I normally on this run, if I get started in the morning, I'll deliver the following day. But this I didn't get to wait till late.
So how many miles are you able to drive a day?
About 650.
You can do 650 miles a day?
Oh yeah.
Or kilometers?
Miles.
650 miles a day. That's how many hours a day are you on the road doing that?
I don't know. I usually do about 3,000 miles a week.
Wow. You got tons of mileage on you, dude.
I do. I have over 3 million miles on me.
You've driven about 3 million miles.
Yes. More than 3 million miles.
I
got a friend that's got almost 6 million miles.
Oh my God. I mean, 6 million miles. How many hours of driving is that?
Yeah,
that's a lot of freaking driving, dude.
Well, when you do that many miles every day, like people think 650, it's not a big deal. But when you do that 4 or 5 times a week, boy, oh boy, it wears you down a little bit.
It's really funny. The guys I ride with, we started a riding club. This is only just a handful of us in it. And we're called the Iron Butt Riders. Because a ride with me, like a day ride with me, is about 300 miles.
Right.
Now that's a long ride on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it is.
300 miles, right? Because that's like an all-day ride, basically.
And you got to give yourself some rest to, get the numb spots of your body back into working position again too,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You must have an ass of iron, all the sitting you got to do, all the driving you got to do.
I'm really lucky that, I'm really lucky that I don't have issues like that. I'm really lucky that if I have to up, mind you, my back has paid the price. My lower back
Right,
has paid the price, but I'm
right.
lucky I don't have ass issues. That's good to know.
Now, now you've got like like, I mean, good lumbar support in your seats and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And I'm sure you take stretch breaks enough to stretch those legs and work
yeah,
those hips out a little bit. Do you
yeah.
so when you're on the road like that, are you actually looking for opportunities along the way where you might go and promote your music?
Oh yeah. I'll sometimes I'll ask Corinne to look up and see what's in the area if I'm in a specific spot. It wasn't long ago I did a songwriter thing at a university in Madison, Wisconsin. It wasn't paying or anything. I just wanted to get in there and get some networking done. So there's different places that sometimes I'll ask her to take a look and see what's going on in, for argument's sake, say Hamilton tonight or whatever the case may be. Because there are some songwriter clubs out there. In fact, I'd like to see about getting something more. I actually would like to. I should talking to you about this. Uh, I'd like to get a songwriter series set up where we would do a tour of either the province or eventually you could do Canada, where you have a certain amount of songwriters and you create a songwriter series and you sell tickets and you just let people enjoy original music for a change. And because not everybody always wants to cover band, right? And they don't always necessarily want a DJ. Sometimes people want to go listen to original music. So I think that there's a market for it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, here's a cool thing. I mean, you might be able to, you know, talk to somebody about that's got a bit of a name for themselves,
Right, exactly.
right? To go and help you do these workshops,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
agree.
a guy that comes to mind, and he's actually going to be on the show, and we're going to be talking about his book, 10 Telecaster Tales. Do you know who that is?
Oh, no. Well, 10 Telecaster Tales. Are you talking
And
about a friend of mine?
it's a new book that's come out. It's a famous Canadian artist who is on the
Okay.
Walk of Fame.
Ferguson?
No, Rick Emmett from Triumph.
Triumph. Yeah,
Rick's gonna be on the show. We're gonna be talking about his new book, 10 Telecaster Tales.
nice.
He would be a great guy to
Yeah, he
talk
would.
to, even if he might not be interested in doing this. He might be a good guy for you to reach out to. Um, and I'll message his publicist to
Yeah.
see if it's okay if I give you her email.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe you can set something up and have a conversation with Rick about your idea. Because I mean,
Yeah, because I.
even if it's
Mhm.
not something he wants to be directly involved in, maybe he'll endorse it.
Well, the thing with the songwriter thing, the music has changed so dramatically in the last, even 7 years. But nowadays, the whole concept of the Dylan and the James Taylor and all the songwriters and all the rock bands and Helix, and it just goes on and on and on. All Sarah McLaughlin, blah blah blah. Nowadays, you really don't have it as much of that. You have the Swifties and all that neat stuff, but
Right.
I think the whole concept of the creation of lyrical movement and lyrical meaning has sort of taken a second stand
Well, you know
nowadays.
what? Just as
Or,
you said that, take your camera and turn it down just a little bit
oh
because you're that's better. Um, Here's an interesting. It's interesting you mentioned that because as you're talking about that, another guy that comes to mind is Brian Vollmer,
yeah, Brian, yeah, mhm,
and one of his songwriting partners, Gord Pryor. Gord has worked with almost anybody and everybody in the Canadian
right,
music industry, including um, you know, April Wine. He's worked with different people, and he sang on different tracks for different artists over the years.
really,
Gordy has actually just written a single that we're going to be putting out, a brand new single by Helix that has
okay,
never been released
wow,
before. and they wrote the song in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
The interesting, there's a backstory behind it. They actually ended up in a guy's house trailer out in the middle of kind of nowhere in Florida. In Florida,
Yeah.
I don't know if they were in the Glades. I'm not sure where they were, but they were in this guy's house trailer writing this song. There's 4 guys that are involved in putting the music together, but Gord wrote all the lyrics for the song.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so he's another guy who knows a ton of people. And
Yeah.
Gord might be a guy we could talk to about this as well, because he's good friends with guys like Harry Hess. I don't know if you know Harry or not,
Mm-mm.
um, um, from Harem Scarum.
Oh yeah.
And Harry does mixing in, well, mostly mastering now for vinyl. And
Yeah. That's awesome.
so there's a whole bunch of really, really great people out there that we could probably figure out how to network this thing with. There's something going on I saw this summer in Port Stanley, Ontario. It's like a songwriters guild kind of thing. So
Oh really?
I'll send you the link to that,
Yeah. Please do.
and see if there's some way you might get involved in that. It looks like they're going to be doing like little songwriting things even in people's backyards.
Well, the thing with songwriting is, like I was just saying, it's lost its way. Nowadays, the songwriting isn't really, and there's a couple of guys like Jelly Roll and some of these guys that they're all about the lyrics, but generally speaking, the songwriting has lost its way. I've always felt that there's that songwriting should be a part of a music curriculum in schools. For
Kind of
example, hmm?
No, it's and in a way it's kind of gone the sort of the wayside. I mean, it's typical of what's
Mhm.
happening in the world, because I mean,
Right, right.
we wrote a song recently. Green Ink wrote a song recently, and it says the world
Hmm.
today. Uh, you know, the it's like the world has changed and we don't recognize it anymore.
Right. I can agree with that.
The world
And it's
today
getting
has
worse.
lost its way. It's a
Yeah,
travesty, I'm sad to say, right?
there you
I mean,
go. Yeah.
and that's what the lyrics says in the song. And the song's called Madness. It's about how crazy
Okay.
things have become. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
like you said, and I think part of it too is that we are, I'm going to come back to this again about the bombardment that we get off the internet.
Oh yeah. Big time.
We're completely bombarded every single day. I don't think that I have seen, you know, more, and I don't want to get into this at all, but more posts that have nothing to do with music than
Yeah.
ever before, because of what's going on in the world right now.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. No,
and
there's so much going on in the world
and I think some of the uncertainty in the world and some of the changes that have happened in the world,
right. Hmm.
even the change in music going from mostly analog to digital
Oh yeah.
has really, really been a massive shift and change for people, because you know we've talked about this. There's not a lot of money in digital music.
Not anymore. There's not, because everybody's getting it for free nowadays, right? There's a lot of them are
They're either getting it for free, or for $9.99 a month,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
$11.29 a month, you can listen to anybody and everybody
Yeah.
that you want.
Forever. Yeah. Exactly.
Something we've actually thought about doing is doing discount downloads on digital albums off our website.
Okay.
and
That's
and
interesting.
and we're gonna do a little experiment with one of the artists on the label. They're gonna be finishing up an EP, and we're gonna let people download the digital EP, which is like 5 tracks. They'll be able to download it for a toonie,
That's
two
interesting.
bucks,
That's cool.
two
Yeah.
bucks. And we're gonna call it. We're gonna have the free downloads on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Toonie Tuesdays and Toonie Thursdays, for people to download the album or the EP for $2. Now think about that. There's 5 tracks on there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you're going to get $2 for every download. 100 downloads is $200. You couldn't earn $200
No.
on 100 streams.
No, that's right. Well, the other thing I was going to suggest to you too is that you know how they have the profiles and it talks about what the song is all about and that kind of thing.
Right.
Could you not have the artist whenever he releases a song? Let's say, for example, I released a new song. Could you not have a video of me just sort of doing a one-on-one with a camera, talking about why I wrote the song, how I wrote the song,
Hallelujah, brother. Preaching to the
and
choir. You're
reach out to them
preaching
on
to
the
the choir.
level of an artist, so that when they get that download, that's why they're, one of the reasons they're buying it is they want to get that personal attention from that artist
I would
about the
like
song.
I would like every artist on the label to do a 30-second up to a 30-second reel for the
Hmm.
release and send it to me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
Hmm.
I'm releasing my new single, and it doesn't even have to be like, music and shit in the background, right? This
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
GM
Just a
Blacktop.
talking point. Yeah.
Right. This is GM Blacktop, and I'm releasing the Blacktop Made Me This Way on March 14th on Indie Tunes Records. You can get it indietunes.com or anywhere music is sold or downloaded. Boom.
So what about if you took that same song, that same GM Blacktop song,
Yeah.
Blacktop Made Me This Way,
Yeah.
and you had a person on the other end of the video? There wasn't even have to be video; they could just be audio, but the video of the artist asking 3 or 4 questions about that particular song, and the artist answering those 4 questions, and that would come with their $2 download.
Hey, you know what? I'm telling you, I'm game for almost anything and everything. We're actually looking at doing, even, I've talked about doing digital downloads, or at least where people could have, we would have um, a members only section of the website
Right.
where
Yep.
people
Hmm.
could go and stream exclusive
Right.
content,
Yep.
to get exclusive access to artwork where they can print and download the artwork.
Yep.
Right. And if they wanted to print it off as a poster or something like that, they could print it off as a poster. You know,
Yeah.
we want to look at things we can do to create more, interaction.
Innovation is important because nowadays you have to get clever and creative to come up with new ways to get things done. And I heard someone talking about songwriting. I want to mention it because I don't want to forget it to tell you this. I was watching this interview of some guitar player. I don't know. I don't even know who it was. It was somebody from the past. Anyway, and they said, "What do you think of the fact that nowadays, because of the children learning guitar and drums and whatever, that the 6 and 8-year-old kids can play Eruption or play all these lead solos at least as good as the original artist?" And he says, and he says, so where does that leave the original artist? Where does it leave the guitar player if he can get outplayed by a 6-year-old? And the guy said something to me. The guy said something to me which I thought was amazing. He says, "Yeah, but could they have wrote that lead solo?"
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to emulate something.
Right.
It's quite another thing to make it from
Create it.
inception, right? And
Absolutely.
and have an idea about how it's going to go, and also be, you know, flexible enough to say this is going to probably change.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like for example, when you wrote those songs, those first songs that
Yeah.
you wrote,
Yeah.
and you went and
Yeah.
recorded them in
Yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure the session musicians that you worked with there brought a completely different feel to the song.
Oh, for sure. They take what they're good. They take their expertise and they say, okay, in this, basically the arrange. To take the arrangement, we look at the different ideas. Daryl Gray, does this a lot too. He comes up with the stuff that's going to work for that song, and this is all part of the genius of some of these guys that are just musical, gurus. They
Yeah,
can take instruments and do anything with them.
I think
Make them
I
work.
think Daryl is doing a great job producing
He
your
is.
music, and
Yeah.
we got to get you guys. You got a couple of tracks you're working on to finish right now
Yeah.
with Daryl. And we got to get you back with him, finishing some more works, because, you know, I think you guys are a pretty decent team. I mean, you come to hit to him with the ideas, and then he helps you put them together.
Yeah, I basically come with him, and he helps me with the arrangements, and then when it comes to and on most of the songs that you've heard that I've done with Daryl, uh, Chris Julke was a lead guitar player on most of that stuff, so there's that influence as well. But this next song that's coming out called "Together We Rock," it's different. Daryl's doing all the guitars on it, but it's a little different too because it's my first attempt at. Believe it or not, you're not going to even understand how this is going to happen, but I got a little bit of a rap gig in there.
There we go. All right. We're gonna cross genres pretty soon here.
Well, it's still my genre, but it's just the way it all worked out, and it's really kind of funny because the rap gig that I did, we never really had to re-record it. It was just one
So
thing I
is this with
put into
Daryl?
the phone.
Is
Yeah,
this with Daryl? And what did Daryl
hmm
think of it? What did Daryl think
he
of it?
likes it. He likes it a lot. Yeah,
Awesome, man. That I mean, you know what? So there's a guy who knows music. He's been around music all his life,
yeah, yes, yeah.
right? He's he's had a huge long run with Helix, but before that he had some great successes as well.
Oh yeah, and nobody can sing Celtic music like him. I'm telling you what.
No, no. I can think of a couple of guys that we could probably get to play on some of your stuff if you ever want to do some country chicken picking. I know a couple
Yeah.
of guys that are Telecaster dudes,
hmm hmm
and they would give a different sound to your song. I'm sure if you showed them the arrangement, they'd look at it and go, "Whoa!"
Well, the weird part about my music is it really, and you listen to a ton of music, and I'll bet you'll even agree with me here. It doesn't sound like any other genre. It's kind of its own genre. My music.
Yeah, you know what? You can't pigeonhole it as country. You can't
No,
pigeonhole as
right?
anything. I mean, it does
As
have a
anything, it's just pure shit.
it does have a good to me. It has an outlaw country feel to it.
Yeah, but
Like
yeah, I
like
was. Mhm.
I mean, for a lot of it, Rocket's another tune that for me, has that sort of rip your face off kind of
Yeah,
attitude. And to me, I see it more like outlaw country. That I'm sure like you'd go over big in Sturgis.
yeah, I would love to play something like that, like a big biker show, because it's all bikers are basically that the same as truckers. Maybe they have a bit more rock flair to them, but it's all about the life on the highway. Like it really, is it encompasses a ton of people. This whole highway thing, whether it's
No, I
bikers
mean
and truckers or
you should either like try to get in at Sturgis and play at Sturgis. Are you going to be up through that way at all? Wait, are you ever by that way?
no, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, you should contact the Sturgis organizers and see. I mean, you might even be able to pick up an opening spot there. On
Yeah, it'd be nice if I could do that. There's some clubs and there's some festivals in Ontario that are quite large too. Burles Creek. We've actually played Burles Creek before. That was
Burles
when I
Creek.
had the
Yeah.
semis. That's when I had semis. I would go and do Ancaster Fair or Fergus Truck Show or Burles Creek or whatever, and I would we'd have three semis with us for those shows.
Wow. Big
They
shows.
were all my semis. They were, believe it or not, they were. Well, I think you've seen it in that last video you showed. There was a picture of one of my trailers there, right?
Right. Right.
And but and that was another big marketing campaign. I mean, even though I wasn't like some massive, name that everybody knew, boy, when we pulled into town, you knew it.
Well, and that's part of the hype, though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, in I think in music, there's got to be some hype, but you've got to be able to back up that hype too.
Yeah, you have to have the music, and you have to, be able to carry a tune, and you have to be able to have some stage presence. And I think we were covering most of that. I think like I said, the time life has this way of dealing its blows and dealing its gifts. But
Yep.
if you've got something that people like, I think that they generally like it. And right now, I find it a little bit difficult to wade through some of the the whole social media stuff. It seems if you want to go viral over something nowadays, you got to make fun of somebody with no arms or something, which is something wrong with humanity. When I look at shit like that,
Yeah, I mean it's funny, and we've had this conversation on the show before. Sean and I had that conversation. Where you know you could be the guy feeding raccoons
yeah,
on your back
yeah,
porch, raw
yeah,
hot dogs,
yeah.
and you get more views than you do on a
20
quality
million,
music video.
20 million views for
You know,
feeding hot dogs to a raccoon.
yeah,
And of course, by that time, you're making money too, right?
yeah. I mean, you're feeding tube steaks to a trash panda. I mean, come on.
Tu- Tube steaks.
I mean, it's funny, but when you think about it, it's not, because
No,
it's not an art form like what
no,
you're doing, and I think as a society, you know, we need to get some time back to ourselves to invest
yeah,
ourselves and immerse ourselves in art. I mean, the whole idea
right,
of creating automation and the whole idea of creating things like AI. Well, and I don't believe we create the stuff. It's there. We're able to organize it and put it together as human beings. And I think that, you know, when you do that, you're supposed to freeing yourself up to be more creative.
Well, I think that with the world as crazy as it is these days, it seems like the people that are doing you hear about the creators and whatnot. It's like it seems like they're all just creating nonsense, but that's because maybe the world is so stressful these days that everybody just wants to laugh.
Well, I mean, and I guess some of it is nonsense. Really funny. Somebody, a buddy of mine, posted a picture the other day, and it says how to tell when a photograph is AI. Have you seen that
Hmm.
one going around?
No, I'm not.
So there's red circles. You know how people can take the thing on their phone and make a circle around something and show where the
Okay,
mistake
yeah,
is, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, they,
yeah, yeah.
so they've got all these flaws supposedly pointed out where everything's wrong in this AI photograph, right?
Right.
But what you don't see, because there's no red circle around it, is that the girl standing there, she's like a waitress, and she's standing there, and her hands are feet.
And nobody would notice it. Yeah, exactly.
And nobody notices it because they're looking at all the other shit on the screen.
Well, you know who plays around with AI and has done some really cool stuff with his music is Brent. Brent's done some really cool AI stuff.
He's been able to take, and I think what he's doing with I like it because it's creative. He's not letting the
Yeah.
AI decide how it's going to be. He keeps
Right.
coaching the AI to try and
Right.
get the AI to figure out what he's looking
Yeah.
for.
Like he'll type in, electric guitar, blue electric guitar,
Yeah.
long hair, blonde, big
Keywords, all
muscles,
kinds of
little
keywords.
dick, whatever he wants to write in, he just runs these keywords.
Yeah, it's really funny because, coaching AI is an art form in itself, because
Oh yeah.
he uses AI not for AI to create what it wants to create.
Right.
He
Yeah,
uses
he forces
AI
it.
to create what he's looking for.
Right.
And I'm telling you, he'll spend hours and
Oh
hours and
yeah.
hours and hours coaching the AI to try and get it just to be exactly what he's looking for. And he'll say to me, "You know what? It's tough," because he said, "It's still not smart enough to figure out what I'm really looking for."
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so the cool thing about, I
Absolutely.
mean, right, because right now he's writing Nobody Approved. He's written the song
Right.
Nobody Approved, which is the title track for his most recent album.
Right.
And he can't get the AI to do what he wants it to do for making a video for the song, right?
Mm,
So I
okay.
said to him, I said, "Look, the song itself on itself is a great, well written song. right? If people listen to the lyrics, just do a lyric video to start with
Right.
and get people used to the lyrics in the song. Then come up with your AI video down the road. There's no rush for it,
No,
right?
that's true. Yeah,
So I
that's
said,
true.
let's put the song out. Let's put out a lyric video to get people familiar with the song, and then we'll sync the lyrics to the song, right? So we got this thing
Yep.
called Sound Blaster now that we have access to, right?
Okay.
For publishing for our artists. Now it's an upgrade fee for me, so I've got to pass that on to the
Right.
artist. But it's once
Right.
it's it's a recurring fee once a year.
Hmm.
But the thing that lets you do is it lets you synchronize the lyrics to your song on any platform that will support it. That
Oh, is that
means
right?
that when your song is playing on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok, the lyrics are being flashed on the screen. So people are learning the lyrics to your song.
Yeah, that would
And
be good for me. That's for sure.
yeah, so I mean, this Song Blaster thing is a great feature. No one's taken advantage of it yet on the label. A
Is
lot
it
of people will
expensive?
well, it's not super expensive. I think it would be like $50 once a year.
I would do that. I'll
But
be your
that
guinea pig on that.
allows you to do unlimited throughout
Yeah,
the year, right?
I would do
Unlimited
that.
tracks throughout the year. And what it allows you to do, and you just do it once, you synchronize the lyrics with the song one time, and then it
Hmm.
pushes it out to any platform that supports it.
That's perfect. I think that would be a great thing. We should try that.
And it's through my label version of DistroKid.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use it because I think that you know people want to take advantage of it. Right now, we can do synchronization of lyrics. I charge an upgrade fee for that to do it because it's a bit of a pain in the ass because you got to listen through the song and you've got to hold the space bar down while the song's playing. And when the singer stops
Oh,
singing, space bar up, space bar down, space bar up, space bar down. And if you screw it up once, you got to go back and do it all over till you get
see,
it
that
right.
would be above my pay grade right off the bat.
Talk about a freaking pain in the ass to do,
I can
you know.
imagine.
And it's actually better if the artist does it because they're the ones singing the lyric and they know where all the breaks are.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I got to listen to the track a few times. It's interesting though. By the time I get it right, I've learned every word to the
Yeah.
song.
Exactly. You know the song. Yeah.
You know, so it's not a
See.
bad thing. It's not a bad thing doing it, but it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Now we do download lyric sheets for every song that we publish if the artist provides us the lyric sheet.
Oh, okay.
But it has to
Well,
be
yeah, I think it's a good idea for sure.
plain lyric, no real fancy stuff, and you have to repeat everything. So if the chorus repeats itself, you've got to repeat the chorus in the lyric. You can't
Ah,
say
right. You
repeat
can't
chorus.
just say chorus. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you've got to actually repeat it. So you have to write every word out as it's sung through the whole track,
Ah, okay.
and then we will publish those lyrics, and then those lyrics are available for people to download from any service that supports it.
So is that something that Corinne would have to get to you then? Is all that stuff, and then you would
Yeah,
do it?
more work for Corinne.
Poor
Yeah,
Corinne.
yeah, we'd need the lyrics to the well. It's going to put some work on you too because you probably have to make sure the lyrics are written out
Yeah,
properly.
yeah. I've had them wrong before. Where people would, I don't know, write something down that they think that's the word, but no, I didn't say egg. I said something else. And
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
it's like Purple Haze. Excuse me,
Yeah,
will I kiss this guy? No, it's not kiss
yeah,
this guy.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
listen, we're at the top of the hour. That hour went by so freaking
it did.
fast.
It did.
Holy
It's
shit,
a lot of
man.
fun.
I
A
love
lot of
doing
fun.
these shows with you because you're a great conversationist.
Eh, just an old trucker.
Have you reached out to Galaxy Radio, to Grant and Barbara?
No, I've not.
Reach out to Galaxy Radio. you've got, I think, 4 or 5 now of the MP3 coded tracks.
Okay, yeah.
So you can send them 3,
Okay.
and get a hold of them at Galaxy Radio. They're on Facebook. They broadcast live. They'll do like an internet interview with you like this,
Oh, okay. Yeah, good.
and they'll
Okay.
bring you on the show. I mean, I think they dig your music, man.
Oh, okay. I will definitely look into that. And where are they out of?
They're out of Australia. No, New
Okay.
Zealand. They're in New
New
Zealand.
Zealand. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
they're
we
in
would
New.
definitely want to do that for
Yeah,
sure.
they're in New Zealand, and you know, as you well know, in Australia and New Zealand, there's a lot of people that dig that kind of music.
They do, and a lot of truckers, and that's the thing I've always said about this genre that I play around with is, you name me a country that doesn't have trucks, and you know they're not there. Everyone has trucks, and so I've never really even worried so much about. Of course, you want to go for the English speaking ones first, but like Japan and India and all these Brazil, all these Spanish places, they all have truckers. It's all trucking music is not just about the lyrics; it's about the way it rolls, right?
Yep, yep.
And that's kind of universal.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, what one platform? There's a platform we're trying right now. I've got to go back and find all that stuff. We've been doing a couple of different things. We're using a platform called Slaps. I don't know if you heard of Slaps or not.
Mm-mm.
So Slaps is a place where you can upload artists' music, and I do that. I upload different artists' music there, and it's a place that is supported through my publishing part of DistroKid,
Okay.
and
All right.
and you get feedback from people about the songs, and
Oh.
if they like it, they can put fire every time they like some part of the song.
Oh. Okay.
And what it does, it allows you to get to see it builds this really nice um, information about what parts of the songs people like best.
That's interesting.
Well, and you could use those hooks of the songs for doing short reels to attract people to come in
Darn right.
to listen to
I
the
mean,
music, right?
yeah, absolutely. No, there's a great ideas. It's just a matter of implementing them, I guess. Just
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
never ending.
and so that's one thing that I found. It's and it's I don't have a lot of time to play with it. That's why I wish I
Right.
had I wish I had a Corinne.
You had a Corinne.
I need it.
I think you can buy a Corinne on Amazon if I'm not mistaken.
that's that's Alexa, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Alexa, make me a coffee. Alexa, can you fix my website? I don't think that's gonna work, man.
I want to get one of those robots to say, "Sure, baby."
Oh my God. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. We got to do this again. I really
Yeah,
wish,
let's do it.
I wish you and I need to schedule some regular dates.
Yeah,
And I'd love to have you regular on the show because I think that you have a lot to offer. You have a great perspective. You're out there living the lifestyle.
yeah, that's a fact.
You know, you're out there living the lifestyle. You're living what you write about, and to me, that begets great respect. You know, because you're not doing an easy thing.
No,
I've driven a moving truck a couple of times, man, and and
and
like I'm only driving a 24-foot straight truck,
right.
right? I think the biggest one I've driven is 26 or 28. But
Okay,
still,
yeah,
in all, driving one of those fully loaded with furniture and feeling everything shift around on it, you know, makes me have more respect for what you guys do.
yeah. I think it's just you get used to you get used to the size. It's one of those. Like I noticed myself, whether I'm driving the big truck or a long trailer on the back of this thing, if you sit there and think about how big you are all the time, you probably freak yourself out. So I really don't even think about it. I'm driving. I know my parameters, but I'm just driving.
In closing, I want to tell you about a quick story. So
Sure.
I used to commute between St. Thomas and Woodstock on the
Okay.
401. So you know that stretch of the 401 right there, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah, it's a
so
terrible one.
it's
Yeah.
so bad. It is
Oh
so
yeah.
bad because
Yeah.
everybody there's people in the express lane going down there a buck 50, buck
Oh
60.
yeah. And now even the big trucks nowadays.
And it's rare for you to see a truck doing less than 110 on the 401,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody's moving fast
Yep.
down there.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm going into work the one day, and I usually would ride, like, when we hit the 4 lanes on my
Yep.
side, I
Right.
would ride the second lane in because the first lane is all the turnoffs,
Right. Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So to me, that lane should be clear for people to make the turnoffs, and so they can make their
Right.
turnoffs without slowing down traffic, right?
Right. Right. Hmm.
And so that's why I stay in that second lane. So I always find myself a really nice pocket where the traffic's moving, hit the cruise control, and there's where I sit,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because I find that nice little pocket. Well, I'm in that nice little pocket the one day, and there's a transport up ahead of me, right?
Yeah.
He's a nice distance from me because I like to stay back from them, and I don't
Right.
like them to be too close to me either.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And so this guy's going down the road, and all of a sudden, this big gust of wind comes out of nowhere, and that truck goes like this,
Oh boy.
and then it goes like this, and
Oh my God.
I'm slowing down. Right, my foot's off the accelerator now, and I'm just letting letting the truck slow down. I haven't touched the brakes yet. It's way over here. The trailers are over here. It's over here. I'm thinking this thing's gonna roll any minute. It's gonna roll down the
Oh my
highway.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
He got it. He pulled it back in.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
must have been shitting his drawers, man.
Oh yeah.
But
He definitely
he
he definitely put a notch in his Fruit of the Looms that day.
he saved that truck, man. He brought it back straight, and I thought it was going to roll. It was almost sideways towards the
Yeah.
median. At one point, it was almost sideways. Thank God there was nobody to the left of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was only somebody to the right, but they were up ahead, and there was nobody behind, right? Just me.
Yeah. He's lucky for sure.
And then he goes over, and he's almost out on the shoulder of the road, right? Because he's
Jeez.
all over the place there, and all of a sudden, boom! It comes right back in, and it does a little wiggle like this, and bang! It's straight back on again.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that something?
I don't know if it was a gust of wind. I mean, maybe he nodded off. Who knows?
Maybe he was probably texting.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's
Yeah, he was
bad.
probably texting because usually when I'm texting, that's what I end up doing.
You're not supposed to text and drive. Don't ever admit to that.
I didn't. Of course, it was a joke.
God, I mean, like I said, I think that is like a no man's zone there, kind of like that one down by
Yeah,
Tilbury and Windsor, right? I
I
saw a
put a
lot of
truck in the weeds there one night.
accidents there, man. I mean, I commuted back and forth there for 5, 6 years, almost 7 years.
Well, then years ago, I was driving a Peterbilt with a bunch of bricks in the back coming in from
Nah, you told
Michigan,
me
wherever
about
I
this
was.
one.
Yeah, exactly. I already told you that one. There you go. That same stretch of road you're talking about there.
It's a bad stretch of road, man. There's a
It
couple of bad
is.
ones, and it's because the road is too straight and it's too boring.
Yeah, that's right. You get bored. That's why
It's
some people text and drive.
oh, Tilbury is so flat, man. There's nothing there. It's just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
It's
know.
crazy.
And anyways,
But
we could talk
safety
about this
first,
stuff,
always,
right?
though, right?
Safety first, always. That's why I always smoke a joint before the show.
That's right. Just don't smoke a joint before you get in your car.
Yeah, don't do that before you get in your car or your
Because what do
truck.
they say? What do they say now? The big signs: buzzed driving is impaired driving. Well, I don't know. I can't smoke weed because I would lose my license if I did. Can you believe
There
that?
you go. I believe almost anything these days.
Hmm.
Almost anything goes. Well, listen, GM, it's been a pleasure having
Hey,
you
bud.
on the show. We're third period of
Yeah.
overtime. This has been the Indie Show. That guy there is GM Blacktop. You're not. I'm Kenny, and you are not. This is the Indie Show. Have a great end of your week, everybody.
Thanks. Thank you.